Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the EU4 weekly state of the game for the Greenskin Gaming Sunday Miners multiplayer. Today, I am joined by the esteemed Cookie.
Thank you very much, ORie.
Welcome back, my
Uh,
friend. Were you here last week? I don't remember. It's kind of been a crazy
I
week.
don't think so, no. I've been fairly busy lately, but well, I'm glad to be back and
Yeah,
to
no,
check out.
it's good to have you back. Honestly, we missed our Middle East reporter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of important considering that nothing else but the Middle East really matters in this game. So
Yeah, at this point, it's fairly well decided. It's just kind of who's going to come out on top overall at this point.
yeah, I mean, I think there's more excitement left than Europe thinks. Just like Europe is really weak, but there are a lot of strong nations outside. We have Andalusia, we have Tyrol, we have Ram. I mean, Tyrol is in Europe, but not part of the European hug box, so Ram, Persia, Yemen, and even Japan becoming really, really big right now. So
Yeah.
still think there's play left in this game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying by any means that the season's going to be over after this session. I'm just saying there's going to be a few players dropping out more than likely, and it'll really be interesting to see like the final 100 years.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see if we can push this season to continue until 1821 and still be dynamic and interesting. Because I mean, we're getting there kind of quickly,
Yeah, I think
and it
there's
will be
enough.
fun to finish up off our campaign properly.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think there's going to be enough power players left as well to make the rest of the game interesting for everyone.
Yeah, I agreed. Agreed. So, what happened last session, Ori?
Well, some things and some stuff. There were some massive crimes against border gore committed by Persia through Russia. Oh god, we need to fix this.
Yeah, shall we start where? Well, shall we begin where it all started with Palatinate? I think.
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah, that was where things really kind of escalated out of control. I do feel because Palatinate was allied to Andalusia, and then I think it was Westphalia, Prussia. I don't know if Para in the Netherlands was involved. I can't remember, but they
Not an
invaded, and
introvert.
then it was there was some salt from that. There was some salt from that. I moved to a couple different chat rooms to just kind of take a break from the salt.
Yeah, essentially Westphalia, Prussia, and Smolensk, Ruthenia now, decided to gang up on Palatinate, who was assisted by Andalusia, if I remember correctly. But due to the superior quality, it seems like Palatinate was beaten quite soundly and quite quickly.
Yeah.
And and after that point, it essentially came to a stalemate because the coalition didn't want to push past the Pyrenees, while the Palatinate didn't peace out, partly because I gave him around 20,000 ducats to sustain his army despite being fully occupied. So it dragged on for a really long time until the Middle East could get their forces in position and just strike Ruthenia from the side, while all their forces were occupied in Palatinate, Prussia, and over in Palatinate and Andalusia, I mean.
Yeah, that was messy.
And yeah, and that resulted in a fairly crushing victory for Persia and Yemen, and I think Rum as well engaged Greece at the same time, and both Ruthenia and Greece took some massive hits, with Persia border going up Ruthenia properly,
Oh
and
god.
Rum wiping out eastern Greece, and was AQ at the time, enabling him to form Rum. And after that point, Tyrol just threw up the remainder of Greece.
Yeah, Greece is dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was the only player dying last session, I think.
Um, yeah, I think so. I don't know what happened in the rest of the world, but I think he was the only one in Europe that died.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the world is kind of sparsely populated at this point after a bunch of people dying or
Yeah.
being forced out. So, but yeah, that's what happened in Europe. Uh, Apart from that, like me on Yemen, I was involved some against Ruthenia, Prussia, Westphalia, and Netherlands, I think, at some point.
Yeah,
And
I do
apart from
remember
that,
that.
I had, and during like one of these wars, I think I had Ming declare a trade war on me.
Really?
Yeah, they declared a trade war on me.
Oh, Ming. Please never change.
Uh,
That's glorious.
so I mean, I was like a little bit worried, but then I realized how utterly horrible their army quality was. So I essentially just steamrolled them and started to shoo big bites out of Ming while also shooing up India and Indonesia, enabling me to grow fairly rapidly. I think I gained about 1,500 development last session.
Damn, that's actually not too surprising considering your Indonesian and Chinese holdings. That's some very rich land down in there.
Yeah, exactly, and India as well.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think this was like the session where I finally took off. After the session previously, I spent gaining, fixing court and country and getting my absolutism high, and then I just went ham this session. Persia also grew some in India, but mainly through bite thrown out of Ruthenia / Smolensk.
Yeah, and the thing is, he actually kept the Smolensk ideas instead of going with the Ruthenian ideas.
Yeah, I don't even know if Ruthenia has an ideas today.
To the wiki. Let us find out. I thought they did.
I mean, they might. I've literally never formed Ruthenia.
Recording is missing the map because I alt-tab.
Yeah, Ruthenia does have some ideas, which seem fairly decent actually. But I would still probably choose the Smolensk above them with their amazing cannons.
Yeah, well, I don't know. At the same time, that discipline's pretty tempting, especially if you're Orthodox.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good set. I think I prefer the Smolensk one, but it's close. Close.
Oh, yeah, definitely not bad by any means. I can see why he kept the Smolensk one, though.
Yeah, the cannons, especially at this late stage, make a fair bit of difference.
Oh, for sure. They hit very hard, as we found out in some of the most massive battles I've seen in our MP seasons.
Yeah.
They were glorious.
Indeed. Yeah, because at the end, you guys in the, central cuddle sphere actually went back on
Persia, tactical cuddle sphere. Come on, man. Get your terminology right.
Yeah, I just call it the HRE box, but by now you've actually expanded outside of it, so I'm not sure if that's the proper terminology.
HRE's dead at this point.
Yeah, but anyways, tell me about this war, because we ended the session in mid-war.
Yeah, and that's not really the smartest thing to do in my opinion, but we didn't have much of a choice was the problem. So the war started out, I think after Persia took all that land, we waited for the truce to come up with Persia, and then we instantly attacked for reconquest. We have a fair bit of land actually occupied currently. Like all of Persia's Lithuanian holdings belong to us for the most part. We've set up basically the ultimate defensive line just north of Kiev with all our forces arrayed. It's a pretty sweet, it's a pretty cool sight actually. The United Armies of Europe in line.
Yeah,
we had some massive battles. I think the biggest one was like, I don't know, 350k versus 400k or so, and it's currently Ruthenia, Prussia, Westphalia, myself as Ireland, the Netherlands involved against it's just Persia and Rum, which is kind of scary that it's just two of them.
Yeah, I think the sides are fairly even right now, actually. I'm surprised you guys did as well as you did, because like Rum and Persia actually has comparable quality to most of you, bar except Prussia, while fielding a little bit greater numbers. So we'll see how the war ends up. You're almost at the point where you could stab hit Persia out, though, if you want to.
Yeah, I think that's going to unfortunately have to be our goal. We would love to get all that land back for Smolensk, but right now I think we kind of just need to peace out from this and recover and prepare for the next wave, because that is inevitably coming.
I mean, there is the curious matter of Ruthenia not having a truce with Yemen, unlike most of Europe.
Oh, seriously? I didn't even notice that.
No, he wasn't involved in. Me and Andalusia attacked Netherlands at some point, I think.
Oh, that's right.
To try to force you out of this war, but Ruthenia wasn't allied to the Netherlands, so I can still now see Ruthenia if I want to.
Very true. It's devious. I approve.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, though. As long as this war remains dynamic and, in my opinion, somewhat fair, I think I'll let it play out and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fun war. This is probably the funnest season we've had by far. Most action between players, which has definitely been awesome overall.
Yeah, I think we made a really solid move actually to start in only Europe and Middle East. I think it's developed into a much more interesting diplomatic position than some of the other games where the first 100 years or so are a bit stale while people consolidate and eat early AIs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it just kind of turns into a bunch of a massive co-op game sometimes, which is unfortunate. But I mean, it makes sense if you want to be competitive. You want to get that development. You want to get your nation growing and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault anyone for it, but I think it's more exciting when you have a mixture of cooperation and player versus player battles going on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The PvP is what makes EU4 multiplayer amazing. That's the best part.
Yeah, I agree entirely. So, what do you think will happen next session?
Well, I think Andalusia is going to attack. That's probably a given. It depends on if he'll go after Netherlands or me. Beyond that, I mean, relations are pretty tense with Tyrol right now, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't have a good feeling about that. And beyond that, I really don't know. I mean, I'd like to expand Irish Russia some more, but I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Oh, I didn't even notice you were up there.
Yeah, Irish Russia, man. What you know
Oh
about
dear
Irish
lord.
Russia?
You guys. You complain about Persia, but I don't know.
Hey, hey, mine's contiguous, and I took state land. Like it's all in states.
I mean, kinda continue. Oh, I can't even pronounce it. I'm too tired.
I don't
But I
blame you,
mean,
man.
having like Netherlands, having Norway as a march, and then having Prussia move up to Stockholm, and then having Ireland in North Sweden and West Russia. I don't even know, man.
We're just dividing the remaining AI that we can at this point, really, trying to strengthen all of us somewhat. And I wanted
Yeah,
trade, so that's why I took all that.
yeah, it makes sense, really. And I mean, I enjoy the border wars, so I don't judge.
Yeah, I find it pretty amusing, honestly. It's just like, why? I don't. I mean, it's not pretty to look at, but it's like, well, that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, indeed. Uh, and yeah, what
Uh,
I think will happen next session, I'm expecting Andalusia and Tyrol to move in on some nation here. I'm not sure which, maybe Palatinate as well.
yeah,
Uh,
he's in kind of a
and
bad spot.
yeah, and we'll see when that happens, if it goes soon or if they hold up for a bit. Ram Persia, assuming Ram shows up, I think he'll be able to make it, last I heard, but it's a little bit unclear. We'll keep fighting here. And as for me, I've declared that I will cancel all diplomatic relations and agreements in like 30 years, come the age of revolutions, and just go try to massacre essentially everyone on the map.
Are you
So
going
we'll see how that works
revolutionary?
out for me. What?
Are you going to go revolutionary, or is that spoiling too much?
I might try to go revolutionary. I'm not. I haven't decided on that yet.
Revolutionary Yemen would be pretty amusing. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at 1 million troops now. I could probably expand to. If I went revolutionary, I could see myself having like 3 million at least at the end of the game.
Yeah, that sounds about right with some pretty ridiculous bonuses.
Yeah, that would be amusing. I might do that. We'll see.
It would be highly amusing. You should do that. I mean, what?
But at the
No.
same time, like I feel like my power level now is at the point where it almost breaks the game. So there's that. Me going revolutionary doesn't exactly help things. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I haven't quite decided on that. It's still something I'm thinking about. And I mean, other people could also rush revolutionary. Like if Prussia managed to get revolutionary before they succumb, it could be really interesting to see what they can come up with.
That would
And
be
like,
actually terrifying.
yeah, and same with like Andalusia, Tyrol, Ram, Persia. If one of them goes revolutionary, they would be essentially equal to me in military power, or at least close to. So yeah, I mean, like a lot of things can shake up in the last stage. I don't think like many of our players have actually played that much in the Age of Revolutions, but it's really volatile when you play wars there, both with max absolutism, people capping out mill IDs, and most importantly, the revolutionary target being available to instantly boost a nation's military capacity to essentially double.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do actually really enjoy playing in the Age of Revolutions myself, even in single player, because it's just by then you're usually large enough that you can just eat massive swaths of land all the way around. You just, oh, this is mine and this is mine. I'm gonna eat this whole region now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm usually too bored to play until Age of Revolution in single player, but I played with it in multiplayer a few times, and it can be really exciting to see what happens
Oh, for
with
sure. Like
massive world
Songhai,
wars.
France. That was
What?
like Songhai, France.
Yeah.
That was pretty amusing. Or no, was it
Oh yeah,
French
last
Songhai?
season.
I don't remember.
You thinking I didn't have the coring range, but I think
Yeah.
that was still in absolutism though. We didn't
Was it?
quite make it through. Yeah, it was still in absolutism. I just had the coring range from
Oh,
my
that's right.
African holdings.
I just derped pretty hard there.
But I mean, you can make some really fun stuff with the unlimited coring range. Just cherry pick every fort out of people, or just take the victory cards and write stuff on their nations. You know, there are
Oh
so many
yeah,
possibilities.
as it should be. Just troll your
Yeah.
opponents to death.
Yeah, I mean, it can be quite effective to just fuck them up with border goring their entire country.
Absolutely, and it looks hilarious too most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I'm really looking forward to the last few sessions, and I hope it'll remain a dynamic and interesting game until then.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm hoping that I can survive. Like I said, though, I think if Andalusia is coming for me, I don't stand much of a chance. At least in the Navy aspect, I'm a little behind on that tech.
Oh, really? How bad is your navy? I mean, I have about 100 heavies right now. What are you at?
Like 10, maybe.
Oh yeah, you have 10 heavies.
Yeah,
Jeez, man.
and they're like previous generation. So it's like, well, damn, these are useless.
Yeah, I mean, Andalusia and Sicily really have a strong naval force, but at the same time, like Andalusia's troops are good, but they aren't amazing. So I could see you putting up a fairly good fight against them as well.
Oh, absolutely. Like I it wouldn't be steamrolling one side or the other by any means. I mean, eventually, if it became a war of attrition, Andalusia would more than likely come out on top.
Yeah, but it all depends on like what happens in Europe. Like Tyrol being essentially, well, at least in game right now, having 0 allies right now. Who would he align with? And like Ruthenia, Prussia, and Westphalia, what are they going to do after the current war and so on? So I think there's like a lot of dynamic and excitement left in the game. And also land for, if Smolensk and say Prussia dies, that's land for other players to grab and grow significantly
Oh, for
as
sure.
well. So and considering, I'm not sure how much absolutism you guys have, but those who have a lot could like double their size really quickly.
I mean, I'm a republic, so
Yeah, I guess for you it could be difficult, but I mean, for me, I would just swap out of Republic at this point. But
yeah,
that's your
I've
call.
just actually not too long ago hit the point where I'm getting my infinite re-elections going.
Yeah, I will still swap out. Haha.
No,
Yeah, but
I need
that's
more.
your
I
call.
need more monarch points at this point, and this is gonna probably be the easiest way to generate them, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest way to generate monarch points, but let's see. Oh, people have been really slacking with the. Oh, Prussia has not been slacking with absolutism.
Well, it's
If
Prussia.
they, yeah, but I mean, still, he's at almost 100 absolutism by now.
That's
So
pretty
he
good,
could be
actually.
what?
That's really good, actually.
I mean, to be fair, I think I think most nations, like if you min max, should be at 100 absolutism about 30 years after Age of Absolutism begins. But
It's not
I'm being a
always
little
possible,
elitistic
though.
here. What?
It's not always possible, though. Like sometimes, if like what I've noticed, depending on like how big your nation is, you can usually get up to court and country, but getting it all the way up until you get that like +1 yearly absolutism can kind of be a slow process, depending on how, like if you had to lower the dev in your provinces beforehand, like before or to get court and country to fire as you usually do, it kind of just slows it down a bit because you can't lower autonomy anymore.
I mean, the last chunk is can be a little bit slow, but during court and country, you also gain a lot of absolutism from the events, so that can help you pick up the pace to at least get to like 70 or so. Is fairly quick, and then the last few points, well, I mean, they're nice, but if you have 70 or 100, it's still really good.
Oh, for sure. That discipline, the admin efficiency. Foreign court duration's mad, but
Yeah, indeed. Let's see what else. Oh, Tyrol is at 85 as well.
that's
We have some
solid.
countries here that actually have a fair bit of absolutism, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting seeing like how the world ends up being carved up because let's be honest, it's going to get carved up in one way or another.
Yeah, indeed. Oh yeah. So should we go over our top three predictions to win the game as well?
For sure. Who are the current top three? Because I didn't have a chance to check the ledger last week.
Score is currently Yemen being number one, Andalusia being number two, and Prussia being number three.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, hmm. I think we're gonna see. I think Yemen's gonna come in number one. The it's number two. I think is actually gonna be a toss up between Tyrol and Andalusia, and then I think number three, depending on how things play out, will be a toss up between Rum and Persia. At least that's how I see it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Yemen will be number one, number two, and number three. But exclude number four, it's a little bit contested of a spot. But I see a lot of different nations. Like Andalusia has a lot of points, so I would probably bet on them. I think they will actually go past me in points, possibly, at this rate, because I don't have my 3K victory cards, and they do.
Ooh, you gotta get your victory card, man.
Yeah, but it's on RAM, and I promised to keep my alliances for another 30 years.
Just buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already giving him 50 ducats a month.
Exactly. Just be like, here, I'll double that. Give me the state.
Maybe, we'll see. And then we have Prussia, who I don't think will win or come in top
No.
three, because I plan to kill him. Ram currently has, let's see, where are his victory cards? Oh, he has one on Tyrol. His 3K is on Tyrol.
Ooh.
So that's really spicy. And then I think we have like, well, Black Horse, something we've been mentioning and saying that for a lot of sessions now. But yeah, Japan is just quietly collecting all her victory cards and growing. And I think she could really come up there.
Oh, absolutely.
If she had her 3K right now, she'd be at 8K, which is third place.
Damn, that's pretty good.
And that 3K is on Ming, which is an AI, and getting slaughtered by me right now. So I really think people are, so at least some people are underestimating Japan.
Oh, I mean, it makes sense because we haven't really heard much from Japan in any of the player wars. She's just been out there quietly growing steadily, just eating development. It's awesome. I mean, she's got 3 colonial nations now, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Let's see.
Yeah, I think one in Alaska, one in Cali, and then one in Australia. So I think she's getting the extra merchant from each one. So that's like some extra trade efficiency in her home node. Always good getting that income.
Australia is actually mine.
Wow.
I conquered some of Mamluks.
Oh.
But we'll see if Japan ends up taking the Maya Pite land there and create another one.
Oh, that's Majapahit. Oh, I feel really stupid now. I wasn't entirely sure. I was like looking at the.
I mean, it happens. There are some really similar colors here, like Yemen, Maya Pite, and Japan, and Hesenvi in the same region. It's a little bit messy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing about the color of Majapahit's land in Australia, it's like literally the same color as Japan's colonial nations.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, that's Japanese. Yeah, I didn't check the save.
That stuff happens.
Oh, well.
And proceeding down the list, we have Tyrol, who has like 2 victory cards on himself from other players right now, making his score really low. But if he can manage to like reclaim his victory cards and also take his 3K on Ruthenia, he'll shoot way up there. Right now, he's kind of low at 4K though. And then Persia, who has all his victory cards on his allied in arms, Rum, which makes for a really, I don't know, unfortunate spawn, and like it might be really hard for him to get up into the top 3, assuming they keep this alliance going.
Yeah.
But yeah,
exactly.
If I'm going to go with the top 3, I'll go with me, Andalusia, and Japan right now.
Interesting. I like that. I like those picks. That's a very interesting final 3.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, as stated, I think there's so much that's going to happen. Like we also have the 4K victory card spawning in a bit over 60 years, which is a huge swing. Right now, the people at the top are at 9K points. Most people are around 4K. So they can essentially double their score just by taking a new victory card.
Oh, exactly. That's what I think, like, and that's exactly why the last 100 years are so interesting because of that 4K spawn. Then you just see massive swings in the points.
Yeah, exactly. And the passive point gain is increased as well as you go later.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
So people are going to get way up there in score, and honestly, the current scores are don't matter that much at all for the final outcome.
Oh, for sure. It really, I mean, it really just comes down to like the last 50 years or so, as we saw in the previous major season.
Yeah, exactly. And it can be really, really spicy. See what happens.
Absolutely. Well, I do think it's going to be a fantastic finale for the season.
Yeah, me too.
And
I'm really looking forward to it.
oh yeah, it's gonna so much carnage. It'll be glorious.
Indeed.
Well, on that note, I do believe we are going to go ahead and wrap things up for this weekly State of the Game podcast. Thank you for joining me today, Cookie. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me, Ori. It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, if you guys have enjoyed, please do remember to drop a like down below as it really helps the channel out, and subscribe for more Grand Strategy content in the future. Also, if you are interested in joining for a potential next season, we are currently discussing that on the Discord. So do drop a message to either myself or Cookie if you are interested, and we will let you guys know more details as we get them finalized. So once again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Ori. I've been joined by Cookie, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Goodbye.